The next drawing we're going to create is called our room plan. We're going to start this from after we've done our floor plan, where all the furniture is, the walls are now in the right spot, the windows are in the right spot, doors are moved where they need to be, all that sort of stuff is completed. So in your project browser, you'll have ground level, electrical, which we'll worry about with another video, and the ground level room plan. So I'm going to double click on that and another tab should open. Nothing has been deleted. That's one of the first things people say. But in this view, when we look at our visibility, all that's showing, and I won't scroll through that, but basically all that's showing is windows, doors, and walls. If you have any furniture that's showing up, right click on it, go to hide in view and pick element. If there's a lot of similar types of furniture showing, do the same thing, but choose category. That should choose anything within that same furniture category. But this is where we want to start. So the first thing we're going to do is under the architecture tab, I'm going to come to the room tool and I'm going to click on it. You'll notice when I get in a room, it gives me this big giant tag. So I'm going to go ahead and start in what I'm just going to call bedroom 1. That's going to be this one right here. And I'm going to click. Now, when I click modify, I'm going to do a couple of things. First off, my scale is set at 1/16 to a foot, and I already know I'm going to be printing this much more likely at 1/8 inch to a foot. Go ahead and switch that view scale now, because as you can see, it affects the text size a lot. Okay. Secondly, you're going to want to double click where it says room and change it to bedroom. This is now bedroom 1. The nice part about it is when I tag another room, it's going to say bedroom and 2. And the nice part is they'll be the same color. So when you have a large plan, they'll all be the same colors. So you'll notice though that my bedroom did not include the closet. Okay, that is because every door and every wall is what's called a room boundary. Now there's going to be some times, like right here in this bedroom, where I want it to include this space as square footage in my bedroom. So I'm going to click on the door, and if I scroll down, I'm sorry, not the door. I'm going to click on the short wall right there, and as I look down here, it says room boundary. Okay, I'm going to uncheck that as a room boundary and hit apply, and you'll notice my square footage number changed, and now that is shaded in green. I should only have to do that one other time in the other bedroom, which I can do now. I can go to the room tool. Actually, I'm going to show this to you backwards. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to click on that wall and I'm going to not make it a room boundary. Okay. Now you'll notice when I click the room tool and go in here, it already includes that area and the text is already small like before. So it's going to pick itself as a different color. And when I change it to also be a bedroom, like the other one, you'll notice that it now matches the green and it's been automatically numbered. Part of my requirements is that my rooms were not identical sizes. So you'll notice there is a square footage difference. That's because they're not exactly the same size. Now, this is one way that we're going to be able to tell that when we grade these, when the rooms look similar proportions. Okay, this one you can kind of tell a difference. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and tag one more room that's going to be the easy room, and then things are going to get a little more difficult. So I'm going to go ahead and tag here. It's calling itself room 3. I am going to kind of try to move my tag so that they're as inside the room as I can. We'll mess with that later, but this is not bedroom 3. This is a bathroom. And when I change that title, it'll pick a different color. I do have to come back here and change this to 1. I know it's the only one, and it tries to say there's a conflict, but they're actually different names. Unfortunately, you have to move the text as one thing. So you are going to have to try to move it around so it's the best view you can have. Okay, I'm going to stick with this right now, but we'll end up seeing what our final printout is like. Now, the hard part is this common area right now. So I have kind of a living room space that's more over here, but I also have a kitchen space that's over here. So I'm going to go back at my ground level plan and try to look at it. Now there's not a flooring difference, but it seems like from this edge to a distance from this doorway right here, I have what's called a joined room. So I need to add what's called a room separator. Now the nice part is I should be able to add it in this view so that I can come down here, find the exact spot, come up to wherever I need it to be. I'm actually going to hit escape right there, and then I'm going to come straight over to meet it, and then I'm going to use the cornering tool, same as what we used for walls. Click on the two parts I want to keep, and now I have a room boundary. Now as you can see, the room boundary shows over here as well. So now I can come over to architecture, I can tag my room. I'm sorry, do not tag a room. That is for rooms that already exist. I need to create a room, and I'm going to go right here, and I'm also going to click out in this space. Now those are both the same color because they both are seen as rooms. This one is going to become the kitchen. Now since there is only one kitchen, I'm going to just actually delete the number and leave it empty for now. And then this is the living room. Which I'm going to attempt to spell correctly. And again, it's the only one, so I'm going to delete the number. Now it doesn't get rid of that box, unfortunately, but it does maybe give you a little bit of niceness, because when you click off of it, that number is empty. Now the one thing is that this, as far as the room tagging goes, is completed. So I am going to pop back to my ground level real quick because you can see this room separator. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to go hide in view and category because I don't want to see that anymore. Now don't do this if you need to draw more room separators because then they're all not visible. So do that only after you've drawn all the rooms you need to. To finish up this plan, I'm going to add some dimensions. To start adding those dimensions, the first thing I want to do is I actually want to come over to the Manage toolbar and click Project Units. Some of our dimensions might end up being slightly off, or if you kind of approximated something, we're going to see fractions of an inch. In these types of drawings, we don't usually see anything but whole inches. So when we click into Project Units, click the Length button, and under Rounding, we want to round to the nearest 1 inch. So it is not the top one, it is this one. Round to the nearest 1 inch. Okay, make sure it has the quotes marks, the 2 marks there. Okay, and then click OK, and then click OK. That'll help us a lot, even if we're just slightly off when we pick our dimension. So the dimension tool is up here. And the first thing I want you to add is the dimension from the furthest side to the left to the furthest side to the right. And mine shows 30 feet. Yours might show more or less than that. And I'm going to put that in. The next one is from the top, the highest line to the lowest line. Sorry, I didn't quite get on the line, I guess. There we go. From top to bottom. Come out a little bit in case I decide to put a dimension in here. I can always move these back in. Now, additionally, I'd like at least one dimension related to each room. Now, for some of these, you'd be able to put them inside the house. For example, on the bathroom, you'd be able to go from wall to wall there and put this inside the house. On some of the other ones, based on especially on where the room tags are, it might be easier to put them towards the outside. So I can get, for example, I can get this here. I can put that there. You'll notice I did use the outside of the wall for the kitchen because otherwise these lines would start crossing over with this dimension line, and that is not okay. So you do need to make sure that you use reference points that make sense. I am going to label from here to here. So we have how tall the bedrooms are. The only one I don't have any measurements in is the living room. So I'm going to go from the room separator to the edge there and pull down. Now, one of the things you want to do is I'm going to grab modify and I'm going to tuck these in a little bit. I don't want overlapping and I don't want these right on there. I want enough space to show clearly that they're not a part of the house, that there is some separation there. Okay. But I also don't want them way, way, way out. So this is more correct. And then as we've done before, we'll turn crop the view on. We'll show our cropped region. We will bring this in tighter. And after we do that, you'll notice I am not cutting my dimensions off. I'm bringing them in tight to the dimensions. And this should be ready to then put on to a sheet. And I'm going to hide the crop region. So now it is. It is ready to put onto a sheet. The sheet name will be room plan. And the sheet number will be A-02.